welcome back to my channel. This is Alex from Alex's Innovations. I wanted to make a comprehensive video on how to start your bracelets and end your bracelets. This includes creating the beginning loop at the beginning of the bracelet, the shaped start, the shaped end, and all the ties at the end. And there are multiple variations for each of the things I just listed, and I do have a tutorial on some of the most basic aspects. I don't, however, have any videos on doing more complex things like creating a beginning loop with 2 colors, nor do I have tutorials for creating an alpha double start. I do have one for a single start. So this video hopefully is going to be a comprehensive overview of all these techniques. The table of contents is right here if you want to just jump to a thing, but I will be referencing the table of contents in between every single little thing I do. So after every sort of technique or variation of the technique I show you, I'm just going to bring you back here and I'm just going to introduce the next one. First, we're going to start with loops. Loops are super important to tie off your bracelet. I like making them because they save me string personally. Instead of doing one tie at the end of each bracelet, that's like an extra like 5 inches of string, plus you have to incorporate more for knotting and for braiding and stuff. Instead of that, you can just do a beginning loop at one end and then you can just create ties at the other end. Wow, what a cool way to save some string. I actually did make a tutorial for a very basic beginning loop with 1 color. You can check it out, the link is in the description. But today I'm going to be showing you 2 variations of this. One is how to do a loop with 2 colors, so sort of 1 knot in one color, 1 knot in the other color, and then switching. And then the second variation, I'm going to be showing you different segments. I've used this in my rainbow arrowhead, which I also have a tutorial for. Check it out, but I will show you how to make those 2. So first, let's go to the alternating beginning loop. I'm going to be doing a zigzag pattern. This is the midpoint of my bracelet. Half of the strings are that way and half of the strings are down here. You just can't see. But I cut 2 of the strings that I wanted to make the color of the loop in a little bit longer, and they are the pink and the yellow strings. So these 2 strings are just a little bit longer, just to provide and ensure that I won't run out of string. So I'm going to have these 2 strings out to the side, and with the first one I'm just going to do a backward forward knot. And then with the pink string, I'm going to come above the yellow string and then do a backward forward knot. And leave that on the right side. Then I'm going to bring the yellow string up above the pink string, then do a backward forward knot. Then I'm going to bring the pink string up and around, and then do a backward forward knot. Alright, and then I'm just going to repeat this, so bring the string that you had been knotting with up on top of the string you just knotted with, and do a backward forward knot. And then bring this other string up and around, and then again do a backward forward knot. And just keep repeating this until your loop is as long as you want it. Alright, I think this is about as long as I want to make my loop. If I bend it in half, it looks super pretty, and I think that this is long enough that the wearer will be able to fit the knots of the ties through it. That is the 2-colored beginning loop. Welcome back! Hopefully that was beneficial to you. Also, if you're seeing the reflection of this little donut thingy in the glasses, that's because thanks to my Patreon funds, I purchased a ring light. Yes, that's right. I invested in some supplies and got myself a ring light, and I'm so happy that I have all of my patrons here to support me and that I have all of you guys here on YouTube, and so I'm so grateful to you guys. So anyway, that's hence the ring. Wow, my glasses are dirty. Might mess around and not wear my glasses for a bit. Granted, I do have like -4.5 vision in each eye, which is not very good, but I'm thinking of getting contacts, so comment down below, should I get contacts? Should I do glasses and contacts? Should I just stick to glasses? I won't be offended, I just really need to know before I go to college. Next, after the alternating beginning loop, we have the sectioned loop. Alright, right now we are going to be making a sectioned beginning loop. So this beginning loop is going to have multiple sections of color, and it's going to look super cool. So first, fold all the threads you need in half. This will work if you have an odd number of strings. Just check out how to set it up in my odd number of strings for beginning loop video. If you have a number of even strings that are symmetrical, you can just fold them in half like this. So this is the halfway point. I just knotted it here with a removable sliding knot so I can easily unravel it when I'm done. So this is the middle, so I'm just going to attach that. Now I want to make a loop in the color of a rainbow. So luckily I have all of the colors for a rainbow. So I am first going to take the red string, because that's the first color in my rainbow, and I'm going to bring it on the right. And then just like the normal beginning loop, over this entire bundle, I'm going to do a backward forward knot. So first a backward 4, pull that tight, and then a forward 4. Alright, and then with the same thread, I'm just going to do that again. I'm going to try 5 of these knots and then see how thick that band of color is before moving on. So now I'm going to be switching colors. Next is this dark orange right over here. I'm going to bring the orange behind the red and up and over. So the red is over here, so this orange is going to come up behind, and then I'm going to add the red to my bundle. So I'm just taking out this orange one, and then I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to do a backward forward knot and knot it so it lines up exactly with the red, so none of the other strings are poking through. Since I want all the bands of color to be the same length, I'm just going to do 5 knots of this orange one. Next is yellow, so I'm going to grab the yellow one, and I'm going to bring that one down, and now it's part of the bundle. And then bring that yellow up and around, and then make another backward forward knot over the whole bundle, and try to line it up with the pre-existing loop. So again, I'm going to do 5 of these. Then you're just going to repeat this for however long you want your beginning loop to be. I'm just going to do one more. Let's make this one green, and then we'll call it a day. So I'll bring that green one over here, and then do a backward forward knot. And tighten that, and let's do 5 of those. So that's the base for the beginning loop, and then you can bend it however you'd like in order to create either a double or a single triangle start. Like if you're going to create a double start, you would just leave it here, and then you could create one triangle here, but if you were going to do a single triangle start, then you could just bring these two together and then just work on the triangle, so each end of these would be one triangle, if that makes sense. That's the section beginning loop. Welcome back. Now that we're done with the overall loop section, we're going to start with the starts section. There are more variations, definitely more variations than there are for beginning loops. One is a simple triangle start. This triangle start is where you make a beginning loop, and then you have 2 branches sort of coming off of that in an equilateral triangle. Oh ho ho, math was useful, kids. You can make bracelets with it. I actually showed you how to do that in Shaped Star with any pattern, so the video's in the description, but that video had actually multicolored starts. So that's really nice if you have a bracelet without like a single border or unifying color, but if you do have a bracelet with one main color and you want to create a shaped start with only one color, then just keep watching. Next up is the single color triangle start. So here I have my beginning loop, and I've made it a little bit longer than normal because I will be pinching it together, and so I want to make sure that there's enough space. This is just so I can attach it up here in a minute. And then I have all the colors for my bracelet. Before starting the actual start, I'm just going to show you how to attach these 2 ends together, because that's going to make everything a lot easier. So I'm going to take the colors for the beginning loop here and here, but you're welcome to use different colors if you want. And then first of all, squish these together as much as possible, just so they're together, although it's not going to do very much right now. And then with the left one, make a 4 over both bundles, which is going to become one big bundle in a minute. And then with the string on the right, feed the thread underneath the bundle and through this loop over here. And then when pulling it tight, this is pretty hard to do the first time. It takes me multiple tries, but try and keep these 2 bundles straight while tying it tight. Like that's the best I can do. And then repeat that, just a solidify it, repeat it, but reverse it. So now we're going to start with the right string, making a backward 4 over here. And with the left string, we're going to go underneath the bundle and through that loop. There we go. And then I'm just going to separate it again into the 2 separate bundles. So this start is best for patterns that have some sort of natural outline. It can be black, it can be another color, but I'm going to be using this pattern. You can see that there's an outside of the black pattern, so I'm just going to be putting a huge line on top of those lines, just so I can see the strings that are coming out of those knots. These sort of are the top black strings. So I'll focus on the left side first. So on the left side, I can see that the next string coming out is white. So I'm going to bring the white thread out into the center. And then with the black on the left, I'm going to make a forward-backward knot. So I'm going to do a forward knot and then a backward knot with the white chilling here. And then the next color I can see is black, so I'm going to take the other black string in the bundle and bring that in the center. And then with the black thread again, I'm going to do another forward-backward knot over all the strings except the black and the white ones, because those are the ones we put in the center. Next is the red string, so I'm going to take the red string, bring that in the center, and then with the black string that I'm knotting with, I'm going to do a forward-backward knot over all the strings remaining in the bundle. Next is the orange string, so I'm going to bring that again to the center, and then with the black string do a forward-backward knot. Next is light orange, and this is the same process, so I'll bring it to the center. And then with the black string, I'll do a forward-backward knot. Then I'll take the yellow string and also bring that to the center. And then with the black string, I will do a forward-backward knot. Next is the green string, so just like the other ones, I'll bring that to the center, and then with the black string I will do a forward-backward knot. Next is the light blue string, so I'm going to bring that towards the center, and then with the black string I'll do a forward-backward knot. Next is the medium blue, so I'll bring that towards the center, and then a forward-backward knot. Then there's a navy blue, so I'll bring the navy blue over here. And then I can see that the last two knots are black and purple, and I just happened to notice that the black is on the inside. So instead of doing a forward-backward knot, which means that the black is still going to remain on this side, my pattern says that the black is going to end up on this side, which means I'm just going to do a double forward knot. Which means that my purple is now on the outside, like the pattern suggests, and all my other colors are on the inside. So now we're going to repeat this on the other side. The process is the exact same, but we're just going to reverse it because it is on the right side. So I'm going to isolate this black string that I'm going to be using as the outline, and then I can see that the first string in the middle is going to be white, so I'll take the white string and put that in the center. And then with the black string, I'm going to do a backward forward knot. We're reversing it because it is on the other side. So backward forward knot. And then the next string is black. So I'll take the black string, bring that in the center, and then another backward forward knot. Then is the red string, so I'll bring that in the center. And then with the black string, I will do a backward forward knot. Then is dark orange. And you get the idea. I'm just going to be continuing this down the line, one for each color, and then I'll just stop when I get to the purple and black just so I can review that for this side. Alright, so I'm separating the navy here, so this navy will be over here. And then, just like on the other side, I can see that the black is going to end up in the middle and the purple is going to end up on the outside. So instead of doing a backward forward knot, I'm just going to do a double backward knot. So the black will end up facing the middle. So So now I have all these strings set up and I have all these edges, so now what I can do is I can just continue from the pattern as if the big line that I drew was actually the knots, and this actually helps to visualize it because this big black row is just like the black row over there. I can see at the top with these two white strings, I can take the left one and do a double forward knot over the right one. And then I can also see that with this white string, it's really hard to see the strings now because they're all kind of folding inward, but with this white string I can see that I'll be doing a row of double forward knots up until the navy string, in which case I will be doing a forward backward knot. Alright, and it looks a little bit messy now, but the farther you go with the bracelet, the more the knots will just tighten up and everything will just come together. So that is the single colored shape start for normal patterns. Welcome back. Hopefully you like that. But if you like that idea and you're like, that's cool, but I recently doubled my pattern, or I have a pattern that incorporates sort of two rows of pattern. I'm thinking of a double Aztec, I have a tutorial for that on my channel, or a dovetail pattern, which I also have a tutorial. Both of those patterns, I believed, I used a double triangle start, which looks like an M for meow. I'm going to be showing you how to do a multicolored double triangle start. If you want to do a single color double triangle start, these things have such long names, wow, then you can just reference the thing that I just showed you. It's the same technique, but you kind of just double it. First I'm going to be showing you the multicolored double triangle start. I'm going to be doing a double triangle shaped star on a starburst bracelet, which if you've been a subscriber to my channel for a while, you may remember that I did do a video on this one, and I actually also did a video on a mini version of this. And in that video I actually showed you how I start this bracelet, but I figured I'd show you again, and this way I can walk you through the steps that I go through in determining which string comes first, and so you can easily apply this to any pattern that you want. So patterns work best on this when there is sort of an M in the pattern, as you can see here. This M ensures that you can do an upside down W instead of just an upside down V. So the starburst is a really good example of that. I will be referencing the pattern, which is 25054 on braceletbook.com. First, to make a double shaped start for any pattern, you have to split your pattern in half, as I've done here. Then on the right side of the pattern, which is what we're going to do now, sort of find the most natural V sequence. It doesn't have to be equal. Like the one that I found actually isn't equal, so the inside is shorter than the outside, but I like it that way, and I think it makes the bracelet look nice. I've seen on the left side of this bundle that there are 6 white strings and 1 dark string. So I'm going to separate, I'm going to put 6 white strings on the left side and 1 dark one. Alright, and now that I've done that, I'm going to go through the left side first because it is a little easier. So I have my 6 white strings on the left side. I see that the first string in line is a white string, so I'm going to take a white string and I'm going to do a backward forward knot over the entire bundle. And then I'm going to leave that in the middle. The next string in line is also a white string, so I'm going to take a white string, do a backward forward knot over the whole bundle, and then bring that string in the middle. The next string in line is also a white string, so I'm going to take the next white string and do a backward forward knot over the remaining bundle. The next string is also white, so I'm going to also do a backward forward knot. The next string is also white, so do a backward forward knot. And there are 2 strings left, and so the next string in line is a white string, and as you can see, the last string is a dark string. So I'm leaving the dark string there. So that's the left side done. Alright, and now for the right side. The right side's a little bit more complex than the left side, but that's just because there are more colors. Again, this applies to any pattern, so the colors could be different for you. But I see I have the second darkest string first. I'm going to take the green, and I'm going to bring it in the center, and then do a forward-backward knot over the whole bundle. I'm trying to get it as close to the beginning loop as possible, then keep it in the center. Next color is yellow. And again, I'm going to bring it in the center and then do a forward backward knot. The next color is orange, so I'm going to bring that in the center and then do a forward backward knot. And then is red, so I'm going to bring that in the center and do a forward backward knot. Continue to knot in the order of the colors shown under the line you drew in your pattern. We've completed the right side of the pattern, and we're just going to repeat what we did on this side in terms of finding the strings to knot on the other side. After we divided our pattern in half, we're now going to draw an upside down V on the left side of the pattern. And coincidentally, this pattern is symmetrical, but it's not guaranteed your pattern is going to be, so I just recommend to check before starting anything. So on the right side of the left side, so I guess the left middle, the pattern wants me to take 6 strings and a dark string. So I'm taking 6 strings and a dark string and putting them on this side. Alright, and then I'm going to start in the middle again because that one was a little bit easier than the one with all the colors. I'm going to see that my first color is white, and so take the white and do a forward backward knot over the whole bundle. Again, get it as close to the beginning loop as you can, and then keep it in the center. The next string in line is also a white string. The next string in line is also a white string. So again, bring it in the center and then do a forward backward knot. The next 3 strings are all white. And then that leaves the dark string, which is going to hang out here and eventually going to get tied to this string over here. But we're not ready for that yet. Let's do the leftmost side. So looking at the leftmost side, I see on my pattern that it wants green. So I'm going to take it and put it in the center and then do a backward forward knot over the bundle on the left. And then I'm going to keep that string in the center. Next is going to be the yellow, so I'm going to do a forward backward knot with the yellow. Next is the orange, so I'm going to bring the orange in the center and then do a backward forward knot with the orange over the bundle. Continue to knot in the order of the colors shown under the line you drew in your pattern. So now that I've done my shaped start, I can begin to assemble the pattern. First, I'm going to take the 2 strings that were poking out in the middle, and I'm going to knot them together because that's going to bring our 2 halves of a bracelet together into one bracelet. So I'm going to take the left one and then just make a double forward knot over the right one. Alright, and then I'm going to show you a little bit how to start this pattern. After the V's, I am going to start on the right side. There are 2 rows with 9 double forward knots of white. So I'm going to take the first white and I'm going to do 9 double forward knots, so 1 over each of all of these threads that we just created a shaped start for. Alright, and I'm not going to show you the whole bracelet because I already made a tutorial on it, but yeah, that is the double triangle shaped start. Welcome back. Disclaimer, the starts that I'm going to be showing you do not have to be with a bracelet with an even number of strings. You can have an odd number of strings, you can have an even number of strings. Make sure you separate it when making the beginning section so it's like half and then like half plus 1. So like if you have 13 strings, then on one side do 6 and the other side do 6, which is half plus 1, 7, so 6 and 7. Oh ho ho, math was useful, kids. You can make bracelets with it. Yeah, so that works for the triangle start, it works for the double triangle start, and I use this technique on a lot of little bracelets. The main ones I'm thinking right now are of the watermelon friendship bracelet and the avocado friendship bracelet. But this technique is super easy and it's basically half of a triangle start, so probably should have put that one first. but you can do that with any number of strings. It can be with even strings, odd strings, whatever you like. So next up, I'm going to be showing you the multicolored slope start. So this bracelet is going to be a zigzag bracelet. It's not necessarily symmetrical, and although you could do a shaped triangle start on a non-symmetrical bracelet, I thought I'd show you how to make a sloped start for this bracelet because I really think it would match the zigzag of this bracelet. So I'm looking at my pattern and I'm going to draw a line where I think is appropriate. With the zigzag, there are lines to the bottom right, so it makes sense that I want to have my loop point going from the top left to bottom right like that, just because that's the way the zigzag is going. So I'm going to start all the way at the top just to make things easy for myself. And actually, before we start anything, I just want to join these two ends just to make sure that nothing becomes undone. So now I'm just going to bundle all of these over here because we're not going to be dividing it or anything. So drawing the line, I can see that the first string in the line is dark red. So I'm going to take the dark red and put it on the left. And then I'm going to do a forward backward knot over the entire bundle. And then leave it on the left. Next is the pink string, so I'm going to take the pink string and bring it on the left, and then do a forward backward knot. And leave it on the left. Next is another pink string. Then I see there are two yellow strings in line. Next are two green strings. And then I'm going to take this dark red string and just repeat what I have been doing. So a forward backward knot over the bundle and leaving it on the left. And then I see the last two strings are dark blue, so I'm going to take one of them, make a forward backward knot, and the last one is just going to chill there. It has no other string to knot over. So now that all your strings are like this, it's looking a little vertical right now, but you can sort of work to position that in like sort of a diagonal manner. So I'm just going to show you the beginning of this pattern so you get the idea of how to start a pattern off of a shaped sloped start. So starting the pattern, I'm looking at my pattern and I see that with the string all the way in the left, I'm going to have 5 double forward knots. And then over the second green string, it's going to be a forward backward knot. And see, so you can sort of just assume that these strings have already been knotted over because essentially they have been. It's just sort of like you're starting the bracelet. This has been a sloped shaped start. With the sloped start, you can use both a single colored start and a multicolored start. The technique for using the single colored start is just the same as the technique for the single colored triangle start. Finally, in the normal pattern start saga, we have the teardrop loop. The teardrop loop is like the triangle loop, but it's opposite. So take that frown and turn it upside down. This is really nice if you create a very small beginning loop, because the loop itself has to be small because the rest of the loop is actually formed by like knotting the bracelet around the area where the loop is going. So I'm going to be showing you the teardrop shaped start. The teardrop shaped star works best if you have a loop at the top, and I personally like to make my beginning loop a little bit shorter than it normally would be. So this is a little bit shorter than it normally would be. I kind of make big loops. Some patterns are better at this than others, but all patterns it's possible. You just have to find a place that you can easily draw a V or some place that sort of fits in with the pattern. So I see right here, there is sort of this V shape going on. So I'm going to take that and make a teardrop shaped star from that. With this V that I've drawn in the screen, I'm going to start on the right side. So on the right side first, I see the purple. So I'm going to find my purple and bring it to the right. And then I'm going to make a backward forward knot. So first make a backward 4 over this bundle. and then a forward 4. And then I'm going to leave this purple string on the right side, so I'm not going to touch it. Next is the dark blue string. For me, for you, of course, it's going to be whatever string's next. And do the same thing, so do a backward forward knot over the bundle that is still there, and then leave that string to the right once you're done. Next is the medium blue, so I'm going to take the medium blue, bring that to the right, and then do a backward forward knot. Next is the lightest blue. Do a backward forward knot over the bundle. Next is green. Continue to knot in the order of the colors shown under the line you drew in your pattern. So now I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to grab the other side, and we're just going to do the exact same thing that we did earlier. My pattern happens to be symmetrical, but if yours isn't, then just pay extra attention to that. So first again is the purple. So now I'm going to bring the purple to the left, and then I'm going to do a forward backward knot so this string ends up on the left. Remember to bring it all the way up right next to the beginning loop. And then leave that purple string all the way to the left. Next is the dark blue. So finding that, bring it to the left, and do a forward backward knot. Right, next is the medium blue. Continue to knot in the order of the colors shown under the line you drew in your pattern. Alright, and once you're done, you should have something that looks somewhat like this. So you have the loop at the top, and then you have these two sides that are going diagonal. So in an attempt to secure this beginning loop, I'm going to take the two strings that are in the center, so they're both black, and take the left one and make a double forward knot over the right one. Alright, now that your bracelet is joined and together in one piece, you can begin your pattern. The pattern is going to be different for everybody, but I'll just show you how to do like the first row or so. So after the V you just created, like on the right side, I can see first, if you look after the V, with the purple string, there is a double backward knot over the dark blue string. So I'm just going to do just that. I'm going to take the purple string and do a double forward knot over that navy string. Then I see with the medium blue string next to it, I have to do a double forward knot over the purple string, so I'm going to be doing that. And then you just keep going down, just following the pattern. This shaped start is kind of the strings coming back from the previous row to help you out. So that's the teardrop start. I really like this because it gives a really cool look, and it sort of forms the pattern around the loop, which is really cool. So that's the teardrop shaped start. Welcome back. By now, if you've actually made all of those, wow, good for you, because I'm gonna have to do that when I film the rest of this video. But if you decide that you're just done with normal patterns, then oh ho ho, have I got a surprise for you. I'm going to show you how to make a single and double triangle start for alpha bracelets. I actually already showed you how to make a single triangle start for alphas, so that statement isn't entirely accurate. The link is in the description, but today and on my Instagram I've received so many requests on how to make a double triangle alpha shaped start. Wow, that's a mouthful. I've made this on 1 or 2 customs. It involves making all of my bass strings the same color, which I personally am not a fan of because I just kind of like using old string, and then it sort of gives like a weird look if you don't have all the old string, but I'll do my best. I'll try and find all the white string I have and make some coordinated bass strings for an alpha. So up next is the double triangle shaped start for alpha bracelets. So first you're going to make a beginning loop with all your bass strings, and it's pretty important that you have an even number of strings on each side. So on this side I have 6 strings, and on this side I also have 6 strings. So I have taken 6 strings, made a beginning loop in just a single color, and now I have 2 sides of 6. So I'm going to do the right side first, so just putting this off to the side. And of my 6, I'm going to take 3 of them and put them off to the side, and then the other 3 will be on this side. So now we have 2 halves, and these bundles of string are going to become the sides of the triangle. So now remember what we did when we wanted to make the normal triangle shaped start? Well, we're going to start it off in the same way. So I'll start on the left side of this bundle first, and I'm going to take one of the strings, bring it in the center, and I'm going to make a backward knot and then a forward knot. So I'm going to make a backward forward knot over this bundle. And I'm going to put that off to the side, then take another one of this bundle and then do another backward forward knot. And this pattern doesn't have as many strings, so this is all that I have to do actually, but if you had more, then you just keep going up until you were done. Then on this side, I have these 3 strings, and I'm going to repeat this, but reverse it. So I'm going to take one of the strings and bring it towards the center. Then I'm going to do a forward backward knot over those 2. And then bring that towards the center. And then bring one of the strings towards the center and do a forward backward knot over the bundle. And then I'm going to repeat that on the other side. So put this off to the side and bring down the left side. So now I'm separating the left side into 2 separate bundles. And then on the left, I'm going to take one of the strings and bring it towards the center, and then do a backward forward knot over the bundle, and bring that towards the center. And then take the next string, and then do a backward forward knot over the remaining string, and put that in the center. And I'm going to bring the strings that I just worked with off into the side, and then the next string on this bundle, the only bundle we haven't touched yet, I'm going to take one of these strings here and do a forward backward knot and bring that towards the middle. And then another string, do a forward backward knot and then bring it towards the middle. Alright. So now I'm going to go back on the right side. Next, I'm going to isolate the 2 strings that are in the middle. So it looks like it is these 2 strings right here. And with the left one, I'm going to do a double forward knot over the right one. With the same thread, I'm going to do another double forward knot. Then with the string I just knotted over, so it is the 3rd from the left, I'm going to do 1 double backward knot. And now this has created a little straight line in which I can knot over the strings now. So I'm just going to repeat this on the other side. So taking the 2 middle strings, and with the left one, make a double forward knot over the right one. And then with the same string, make another double forward knot over the next one. And then with the string you just knotted over, so the 3rd one from the left, do 1 double backward knot. Alright, and just to finish it all off, I'm going to join it at the center. I'm going to take the leftmost string on the right side and the rightmost string on the left side. Then with the left one, I'm going to do a double forward knot over the right one. I'm going to bring these 2 sides as close together as I can. So this has created a double triangle shaped star. As you can see, all of these strings are in a straight line now, and I'm not going to do the rest of the pattern now, but as you can see, this star has created a very nice straight line for my alpha. You can make this as large or as small as you want. Probably 12 strings is as small as I'd go, because if you go any smaller it gets a little complicated. But basically you sort of do a double shaped start as if you were creating a normal, and you just stop when you make all of the rows in a straight line. So yeah, I'll show you how to end this bracelet in the same pattern later on in this video. Welcome back! If you did all those, you're like, wow, this video is probably gonna end soon. Well, you're wrong. This video isn't gonna end, it's gonna start about end. It's going to start teaching you about ends. It's not done yet. So the first end that we have, I'm gonna sort of mirror the sequence that I went in the shaped start. The first end we have is just your typical triangle end. It's when the two bracelets sort of come together like that. First, I'm going to be showing you how to do that in a multicolored version. So up next is the multicolored triangle end. The double triangle end works best for a bracelet that has a W shape like this. See how this pattern typically, I mean, even up here in the middle of the bracelet, you can see that the bracelet naturally forms a W. And so this W doesn't have to be symmetrical, but if it does, that's okay too. But this W shape makes a really nice double triangle end. So right now I'm just going to be showing you how to do that. So for your double triangle end, there are 4 like line segments for the W. So you're going to have 4 different groups that you're going to be knotting. So I'm going to separate it. First is the right side of the W, second is the left side of the W, and then third and fourth are these 2 portions inside of the W. So before you start, just take the 2 ends in the middle, and with the left one, make a double forward knot over the right one. Alright, and while we're here, we might as well just work on the inner right portion of this double shaped end. So over here, I am going to take the first string that's to the right of the middle string that I just knotted over with, and with this white string, I'm going to do a double backward knot. Over that middle string. And then I'm going to group these 2 strings together, so the next knot is going to be over the 2 of them. So I'm just going to take the next string in line, it's also white, and I'm going to do another double backward knot over this group of 2. And group those together. And then I'm going to go down the line, so take this next one and do a double backward knot. And the next one. And then these 2. Alright, and then I'm just going to leave these here for now. Then since we are in the middle, I'm just going to work on the other middle one. So it's the same principle, but we're going to reverse it. So we have this middle string here, and then I'm going to take the string that's directly to the left of this middle string, and over the middle string I'm going to do a double forward knot. And then just like before, I'm going to group these 2 together. Then with the next string, I'm going to do a double forward knot over that group of 2, and group them together. Then with the next one in line, do a double forward knot over the 3 that are now grouped together. Then take the next one and do the same. And then just repeat that with the last ones. Alright, so now you have this middle and it is all shaped, all the strings are gathered. So now let's work on the right one. For the right one, it's the exact same process, you just have different colored strings. So you're going to take this string, it's the same color as the middle string, I guess, so take the string that's all the way on the right, and then take the string right next to that, and with the string next to it, do a double forward knot over that edge string. Then group those 2 together, and take the next one in line, for me it's yellow, and over the 2 you just grouped over, do a double forward knot. And then with the next one in line, do a double forward knot. And then just keep going. I'm not going to say this more times than I've already said, do a double forward knot. You get the idea. Alright, and then you have this right side completely done, and so then we're just going to repeat what we did over here on the left side. So taking this last segment of the W, I'm going to separate the two strings all the way on the left, and with the one that is closer to the middle, I'm going to do a double backward knot over the one that is all the way on the left. Then group those two together, take the next one, and do a double backward knot over those two, then group them, and just repeat this until you reach the final string. Make sure you're not knotting twice at the bottom down here, because it is easy, because these strings are pointed this way, so it's possible that you might mistake one of these, especially if all your strings are similar colors. So just be really careful when you're doing that you're not double knotting or even triple knotting your strings. And that's your double triangle end. And you guessed it, you can also do this end as a single colored shaped end. So, let's go. First, this works best, just like the single colored shaped start, this works best for patterns that have a natural black outline like this pattern. So I've stopped at a point right before, like if I were to continue with the pattern, then I would just be doing the outline. So you can see that I have my black over here. If I were just to knot this pattern regularly, it would just be a black outline. I want this black thread to form the outline of this bracelet, making it a shaped end. So what I'm going to do is, first, I have knotted over my purple thread over here on the end. You should knot over the end strings, so the outline color is facing inside and one of the strings are facing outside, like this purple one right here. I'm going to be starting on the right side first. So take the two threads that are all the way on the right and group them together, and then with the black, do a forward-backward knot. Then you can put that to the side and you have these two threads you just knotted over. Then take the next thread in line and bring the black thread back down, and then do a forward-backward knot over all three of those threads. Then take the next thread in line, and then with the black thread do another forward-backward knot. Then with the green, same thing, group it together, and do a forward-backward knot. And also, if you see that your outline starts to get a little separated, like right here you can see the green and the blue poking out, then you can just pull on each of those strings and it should just tighten right back up. Now I'm bringing the yellow in and doing the same thing, forward backward knot. Then with the orange, I'll stop just to tighten these. Then with the dark orange, and the red, I'll just continue with the black thread and the white thread. Alright, and that is done for the right side, so I'm just going to repeat this process on the other side, but just reverse it. So I have my black thread, hopefully I don't run out this time, although it's very likely I might, and I'll take the left two strings and group them together, and then with the black thread I'm going to do a backward forward knot. And then take the next thread in line, and then do another backward forward knot. Then the next thread, backward forward knot. Then with the next thread, then the next one, and this is just the same if you were to just be knotting with this black thread without grouping any of the other ones. It's just like a regular outline, except you're just kind of gathering all the threads. And again, like the other side, I'm noticing that this black part's starting to separate a little bit from the body of the bracelet, so I will pull on the strings that I see poking out so I can tighten that. Alright, and then I will grab the next thread in line, which is orange. Then red. And again, I'll pull those tight. Then I'll finish up with the black and white. Alright, now that these two sides are done, what I'm going to do is just to have this black part meet in the middle, because it doesn't really meet still and it's annoying me a little bit. I'm going to take the two strings that I was just knotting with, they're both black, and just like some of the shaped starts, I'm going to bring them to the outside, and then with the left one I'm going to loop the thread over the bundle, and then with the right thread I'm going to go over the string, under the bundle, and through the loop created on the other side. And pull that pretty tightly, try to make sure no threads are showing. And then I'm going to repeat this, but reverse it. So now on the right side, I'll go over the bundle, and then on the left side, I'll go over the thread, under the bundle, and through the loop. And that is the single colored shaped end for normal patterns. Next we have the double triangle shaped end. This double triangle shaped end is pretty similar to the double triangle shaped start. I do have a tutorial for this. It's called Triangle Shaped Ends and it's on my channel. I'll leave a link in the description as always. So I showed how to do that in a multicolored version, and you can apply the single colored version to that. I'm not going to do that right now because of how many bracelets I'm going to have to make for this video, I just realized. So up next is going to be the sloped end. The sloped end again can have as many or as few strings as you'd like. I use this on the Harry Potter bracelet, which is where I first sort of experimented with it. I also did this on the watermelon bracelet, the Visco wave tutorial bracelet. It's such a cute pattern. So I'm going to be showing you how to do a sloped multicolored end. So for sloped shaped end, it's pretty important that you end the bracelet in a straight slope like this. Even though the pattern doesn't really look like it might be sloped, like this pattern is a zigzag pattern, so you might think, why don't I end it like on a straight line in between the zigs? The slope shaped end won't really work for that. So it works best if you have a slope over here. So first take the two ends that are all the way on the left, or that are all the way at the top of your slope. If your slope is going from the top right to bottom left, and then it would be the top right. But for me, it's at the top left. So I'm taking these two, and with the one that's on the inside, make a double backward knot over the one on the outside, and then group those strings together. And then take the next string in line and do the same thing. Do a double backward knot over those two together and group them together. Then take the next string in line, there's no need to cross strings or anything, and do another double backward knot and group those together. And then take the next string and do the same thing. Then take the next string in line, and you're just going to repeat this all the way until the end, until all of the strings have been knotted up and everything is together in one big bundle. And that is the slope-shaped end. Next, we're going to get into alphas, and I did make a video on how to make a shaped end for an alpha bracelet, but again, I didn't show you how to make an alpha double shaped end, so guess what we're gonna do? That's right, we're gonna make an alpha double shaped end. Let's go. So I finished my alpha bracelet right here, and so this is the same bracelet I had earlier, which means I have 12 strings. So I'm going to divide these in half, so I have 6 strings on this side, and then 6 strings on this side. And so to start off, first we're just going to take these two middle ones, so bring one from each side, and then with the left one, do a double forward knot over the right one. And then I'm going to take the next two on the right, and with the left one, do a double forward knot over the right one. And then with the next two, I'm going to take the left one and do a double forward knot over the right one. If you had an odd number of strings, or if there were 2 more strings over here, then you just keep doing this. And then on the other side, we're just going to keep knotting 2 strings over each other. So I'm taking the next 2 strings left of the middle, and with the left one doing a double forward knot over the right one. And then take the next 2 and do the same thing. So now we have 2 strings on the edge that are not knotted, and then we have the rest of them that are knotted. So I'm going to find the one in the middle, it's that one, and I'm going to separate it so there's 1 string for each side. I'm going to start on the right side first. So when I say all the way on the left, I imply all the way on the left of just this right section. So take the 2 strings that are all the way on the left of this section, and with the one that's more on the inside, do a double backward knot over the other one. You don't have to pull this super tightly. In fact, I recommend you don't, so that the bracelet doesn't sort of crunch up over here. Then you're going to count, so there are these two, and then 3, 4. So take the fourth one, and then do one double backward knot, and then do another double backward knot. So you're doing a double backward knot all the way until you reach the end string, but don't do it over the end string. Alright, and then this last string on the edge, I'm going to do 3 double forward knots, because this one's on the edge and I didn't knot over this one. So I'm going to do 3 double backward knots, and if you had more strings over here, you'd keep going, but for me, you can see I have 3 strings on this side and 3 strings on this side. So I'm going to put this on the other side, and then I'm going to repeat this, but reverse it. So now I'm on the left side now, so just like before when I say all the way in the left, I mean all the way in the left of this section. So take the 2 strings that are on the right, and with the second one, so the one that's closer to the middle, you're going to do a double forward knot over the one that is all the way on the right. And then put the string you were just knotting with off to the side. Then 3 strings from the inside, so over the 2 you just knotted over, and then another one. Then do 2 double forward knots. And then put that off to the side. Finally, take the string that's all the way on the left and do 3 double forward knots. And then, just like the other side, you have 3 strings on this side and 3 strings on this side. Again, you can adapt this to however many strings you have. Basically what you're trying to do is first you just knot one row, alternating one over the other for this beginning row, and then you can split it off and make these triangles. These triangles are the same width. And if you have an odd number of strings, then just the same width plus or minus 1. It doesn't matter that much. So now we're going to shape the ends. So on the right side, I'm going to take these 2 all the way on the right, and with this one, you're going to do a double forward knot, and then group these 2 strings together. If you've made a shaped end for a normal pattern, this is exactly how it is for a normal pattern. It's just that all the strings are the same color. And then with the next string, you're also going to do a double forward knot, but over the 2 strings that you grouped together earlier. And that's it for this side. If you had more, of course, you'd keep going. And then on the left side of the right section, I'm going to take the middle string of the 3 and do a double backward knot over that string, group them together, and then take the final string that you haven't knotted with and do a double backward knot over the 2 that you just bundled together. Alright, and then this one's bundled. It doesn't look much like a triangle because this bracelet is so small. I probably should have chosen something bigger. But I'm going to repeat this on the other side. So on the other side, take these 2 strings all the way on the right, and with the middle one, do a double forward knot, and then group them together, and then take the next one and do a double forward knot over both of them, and group those together as well. Then on the left side, take the middle string and do a double backward knot, group those together, and then take the last string you haven't knotted with and do another double backward knot over those 2 strings. And that is the shaped double triangle end for alphas. What I like to do before braiding it or ending it with ties is I like to take 2 strings from each. And there you go, that's the shaped double end for alphas. You might be thinking, wow, Alex just said so many ways to start your bracelet and so many ways to end your bracelet. I wonder which one she had more of. Well, it's a tie. Haha, that's right. You've ended your bracelet. And now you want to know how to actually put it on? Well, I'm your girl. Today we're going to show you a couple techniques. I should actually count how many things I have. This is like a whole big piece of paper. But I'm going to be showing you how to make multiple types of ties. Wow. Ow, that was not a good idea. For your bracelet, so if you like to switch it up, you can just find the one that works best for you. But first I'm going to start with the most simple one, which is a braided end. This braid is probably one of the most simple ways to end your bracelet, and it's really pretty and really effective. I'm going to divide the end of my bracelet into two sections because the top is a beginning loop, and so I want the wearer to be able to wear it with two different ties. So this bundle will become one braid, so I'm going to divide this into three separate sections. It can be approximate because there are 5 strings in this section, so it's okay if one of the strings has less than the others. Then with the right bundle, cross it over the middle bundle. And then with the left bundle, cross it over the middle bundle. And this is pretty much all a braid is, just taking the right end, crossing it over the middle, and then the left crossing it over the middle. And so keep doing this, right over middle, left over middle, right over middle, left over middle, until the tie is as long as you want. I typically make mine about 4 to 5 inches, just so a variety of wrist sizes can wear this bracelet. And now, since my bracelet has 2 ties, I'm just going to make another one here. So I'll just repeat this process, divide all these strings into 3 separate bundles, and then just continue to braid. So the right goes over the middle, like before, and the left goes over the middle. And just repeat this, right over middle, left over middle, until the braid is as long as you want. And make sure your ties are the same length at the end, because you do want to have ties that are the same length, because it just makes the bracelet look a lot more clean and professional. And then once you're done with those, you can just trim the edges, and then you have some lovely braided ties that you can now put your bracelet on with. Next is one of my personal favorites, because you can not only make an end for your bracelet out of this, you can actually make an entire bracelet out of this. But this one is the twisted ties. I find this much more professional, although I do prefer this for embroidery floss, while I do prefer the braids for the craft cord. I went over all of this, including all the different kinds of string I use, in the supplies I use video, which is in the description if you want to check that out more. But next up is going to be the twisted ties tutorial. So for twisty ties, you can either have a double shaped end, either for alpha or normal, or you can have a singular triangle end and then just split your ties into 2 groups. But I'm just going to show you how to do the technique of the twisty tie, and then you can apply that as many times as you want. So the technique of the twisty tie, very scientific terms, is you're going to break your bundle of strings into 2 separate bundles. So here I have 6 strings in the bundle, so that's 3 strings per bundle. And then this is sort of a technique that takes practice, and it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm going to do my best. So with each bundle, you're going to twist it that way. So that is clockwise. So you're going to start, here I'll show you on this one, you're going to start like this and sort of twist it with your hands. Like that, sort of. So see how it's all twisted and it's twisting in that direction. And then while holding that with this hand, I'm going to try and do that again. So it's important that they're both twisted in the same direction, otherwise this won't work. So now they're both pretty twisted. If I let go of them, they're going to coil up on each other. That's how you know that it's good. And then with your left hand, bring it under the right hand, and then try and re-grab hold of the strings without them becoming untwisted. And I just like to retwist them a little bit again, and then repeat. So bring the left hand under the right hand while being sure not to let go of them. So I'm going to just repeat this. So over and twist, over, twist, over, twist. And I'm going to do this until the ties are as long as I'd like. And then once you're done, you can just grab it, just pinch it all the way where it's done, and then make an overhand knot and pull those ends through. I'm just going to repeat this on the other side. And once you're done with your ties, I'm just going to trim my edges just to make sure that they are both even. Alright, and those are how to create twisty ties for the ends of your bracelet. And finally, we have a fishtail end. I have never made this end before making this video, but it's always looked so pretty, and it's always looked like really complicated, but after I learned how to do it, it's not that complicated at all. So I don't know, this probably isn't ordered in order of difficulty, it's probably ordered in the order that I thought it in anyway, but fishtail ties. Let's go! So a fishtail braid is another way to end your bracelet. It looks a little fancier than a normal braid. For me, it takes longer, but it could be different, could be faster for you. So I'm going to show you on this one tie. So on this one tie, divide your strings in half. I know here I have 17 strings on this side, so I'm just going to do my best and do 8 and 9. There we go. So I have 8 strings on this side and 9 strings on this side. The colors don't really have to matter unless you want them to, because it is your bracelet. So now, with the left side, take one string and move it from the left side to the right side. And then from the right side, take the string that like appears on the right and move it to the left. You can choose any string, but if it appears on the right, like if it's all the way on the right side, it will like look better. So we're just gonna repeat this. So the left side, bring it over, right side, bring it over. So on the left side, I'm going to just take another one that appears on the edge and move it over to the right. And then I'm gonna keep this pulled tight. Then over here, I'm going to take this green one, just naturally appears on the edge. So I'm gonna move it over here. And then I'm just going to repeat this until this braid is done. Alright, and once you've made your fishtail braid as long as you'd like, you can just make an overhand knot at the end and it will be all secure. Alright, now that you've made a bracelet, you've made the loop, you've made the start, you've made the pattern itself, and you've made the end, and you've made the ties, and you're like, wow, that's so cool, but how am I gonna put it on? Well, I'm gonna show you how to put it on. I made a TikTok about this, which I will cue now. But I wanted to do a little bit more detail because TikTok is like 15 seconds and I wasn't about to make a minute-long video on TikTok about how to put your bracelet on, so I figured I would just show you here and now. Alright, so right now I'm going to show you how to put on a bracelet if you have one loop and 2 ties, and ignore the whiteout over here. I was planning my college schedule and everything got super rearranged and stuff, so I had to white out a lot of stuff. So anyway, take the loop and take one of the ties and put one of the ties through the loop like that, but don't pull it all the way through. So you sort of have this like big circly thing going on, and then you can stick your hand through the bracelet like that, and then with that tie that you just stuck through, just pull it all the way so that it's nice and tight around your wrist, or however tight you want it to be. Just take the other tie and bring that over the tie that you're holding and through and pull, and then with that same tie move it over again like that, and then under and through, and then you can pull tight and then let go, and it's nice and tight on your wrist. You can make it as tight or as loose as you'd like. You can take it off this way, but if you pull it really tightly, I'm not going to, because this bracelet is actually for sale on my Etsy. It's a recycled drag rope bracelet and I have a tutorial for it. But if you pulled it really tightly, then you could just cut these ends off and you'd be okay. And to take it off, you can just pull these threads again like that and it will just come undone. Alright, welcome back. So you're wearing your bracelets. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly had a lot of fun making it. I made a ton of bracelets, and most of them are going to be on my Etsy if they're not being given to patrons. But if you want to be a patron, which I purchased this ring light from the funds, you can get cool things like early access to my videos, bracelets in the mail from me. You can get actually an exclusive Innovate hoodie after 3 months of subscription to the top tier, and you can get a shout out in my videos. So that's super cool. Go check it out. The link is in my description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please comment down other requests you have for future videos. Bye! If you like this video, please consider subscribing. In addition, please consider becoming a Patreon. Just a shout out to all of my patrons, but especially my top tier supporters, Nancy and Roxanne. Thank you so much. Check me out on Instagram. There I do polls and surveys that help me make better videos, so you can be a part of them as well. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time!